Hey everybody, David Lemon here. I wanted to tell you about changes that we released recently for GroovePages. Some of the changes that I'm going to tell you about were released just recently, and some of these have already been out for a week or two already. I just wanted to create a video so that you all know what is happening with the updates. So one of the first things I need to mention is some restrictions we had to put in place for free accounts on GroovePages. So if we have a look at a free account in GroovePages, when you are going to publish your pages and sites now, publishing websites using the free GroovePages subdomains is not going to be available anymore. We had to put these restrictions in because some of our users were abusing the systems. They were just creating sites that were created to steal others' information and harm users, and basically these were phishing websites. We didn't want to allow that anymore, and we are making it harder by basically allowing only custom domains to be used with free GroovePages accounts. So in this case, if you have a free GroovePages account, you can go into manage domains and you can connect your domain. As you can see, publishing websites using free domains is not available anymore. You can upgrade and then you can use the free GroovePages subdomains. In that case, if you want to publish your free GroovePages sites, you can connect your custom domain by clicking over here, manage, and then just connect your domain using our tutorials that we have on our YouTube channel in our help desk. Once you connected your custom domains, from this drop down just select custom domain and then you can publish your website out here. That is the restriction we had to put in place. We were forced to do that because we received complaints from users and from other companies because our users were abusing the system. Now on much more fun part, we have added a lot more flexibility for the text styling. Users were asking us on how do I actually underline a text on a button, and that was not available previously. Only on the normal text and paragraphs and headings you had the option to underline things. Now when you click on a button inside the text options, we added a little bit more styling functionalities like up, not underline but upper line, and the italic and underline, and then also a strike through. So now you have all of these options to manage the text on different elements like buttons, even here, and basically on any kind of element that has any styling options. We also have a new functionality, which is page redirection. Previously, when you wanted to redirect a page, you had to work with different codes and things like that. Now it's not needed anymore. The way you do a page redirect is you go onto a page and you decide which page you want to redirect. Let's just say this donate. If somebody wants to go and donate, we can send them over to a donation platform somewhere, and that you do by going to the settings. And here you have enable page redirection. You can turn this on, and then once turned on, you can select, do you want external or internal pages to be opening once this this URL is typed into the browser. You can redirect to an external URL, just type in the URL over here, or you can do internal pages on your site. So you basically select a page where you want to redirect users, and that's basically it with the redirection option. So now this is a little bit more easier than copy pasting some code from the internet and then managing it here inside the code include section. We made it a little simple toggle switch so that you can manage the redirection from here. We also managed and improved our screenshot system. So in case you come back to your sites and in certain cases when you still see this site preview generating, you may need to resave or republish your sites, and then the actual screenshots are going to be created. What we did is we have a completely new system managing the screenshots, and all of these images that are showing are now WebP, which means that the actual loading of the sites is going to be much faster within the platform itself. Another cool thing that we have added is for your funnels. If you have a funnel and you don't want to start your .com or .net domain using a website but directly with a funnel, now you can go into a funnel and then select the home page of your funnel and then decide to set it as a home page from here. Now you can see that your funnel's home page is the index page. Once you publish your site, it's going to act, so this page is going to act like the .com, so your site.com or something like that. It's not going to open the website first, it's going to open the funnel first. So your pages from your website are going to be available on a URL like that. So these were the new things that we added. Let me just mention some of the things that we improved. And there is a noticeable improvement when you are doing any kind of drag and drop on blocks. So now you can see that it's very simple, very smooth drag and drop. Let me just zoom out so I can show you a little bit easier. So if you take a block, you're immediately going to see the white spaces where you can drop your block, and it's much smoother now than it was previously. So you can now immediately see where the blocks are going to be dropped just by seeing those white spaces. We created a little spacing in between the different sections of the blocks, and now you can just drag in another one in between. We also fixed the My Site screen, or the My Site screen. This is where you can see all of your sites that you created. So what we have right now is we have an infinite scroll that was previously not very fluid, to be honest. It was kind of stopping. Now when you scroll down to the bottom, in 1 or 2 seconds it just opens the rest of your pages in your account, and then you can just scroll down a little bit lower. This is kind of a lazy loading, so we don't load in all of your sites at the same time, but we load in just a couple, and then when you scroll down to the bottom of the selection, we open another bunch, and then we kind of manage the load so your sites are shown up fast, and it's just a smoother experience. We also did some improvements to the checkout element, and the checkout element was consisting of two different elements. One was Groove Cell element, and there was a specific checkout element. Now we merged these two into one. So when you're using a checkout embed element over here, you drag it out, and you can see this placeholder. When you click on the placeholder in the configure options, you can select use a placeholder image, use a Groove Cell checkout, which is going to open your Groove Cell selector, so you can choose your funnels. And you also have the option to use external checkout using an embed code. Now the embed code is over here in the sidebar, so no need to click the update and go to the cogwheel, then embed that there, and then click save and things like that. So it's much smoother than it was previously using this little drop down option. If you want to just put in a placeholder, let's say you're creating a template for something, you can just use a placeholder image and then use that, so users can pre-populate the checkout with their own content. If you're selling for yourself, just select the funnel, select the products that you want, and then you are good to go. And if you just want to embed a checkout from a third-party provider, third-party app, you can just paste that in here and then click update. So that's the improvement we did for the checkout element. We also added a new option for the pop-ups. So in case you had pop-ups, and let's just say you had one button on the pop-up for subscribing, now you also have the option to just add a normal button in here. Let's just add it below, and this button can act on pop-ups as an exit button. We have an option to close the pop-up on click. Okay, so this button can act as a link, but you can also make it so that it acts as a close button. And this is interesting in options like no, I am not interested, so that you actually give your users an option. You are transparent and you give your users an option to manage. So in case they click to no, I'm not interested, it's going to close the pop-up in case you turned on this toggle switch, basically this option over here. Once you're done, make sure you click the update button, and then once you save, it's going to act as a close on a button click, which is quite interesting. We also had a couple of fixes. I'm going to show you here a list, and these fixes are for background image issues. There were issues when no repeat was set up, it always went back to repeat. Now that is fixed. Cloning issues of containers and elements on the canvas. Previously, when you actually selected anything to be cloned, it just cloned it but didn't copy over the styles, and in certain cases it was also not clickable. You couldn't configure or style the buttons or any other element or containers. Now that is already fixed. You are not subscribed to this application. In certain cases, when you started a site from a template, you received an error which was saying you are not subscribed to this application. It was a strange thing that happened, and now we managed it, and it just doesn't show anymore. It works beautifully. We also manage the min width and max width corrections. So that is when you are sizing something. When you go into an element, when you select an element and you go into any kind of sizing, you also have min width and max width options. Here, the min width was not set up as parent default. We didn't know what the minimum width is, and now we basically set up as a parent default. Another thing that we did are corrections for min width and max width. This is the setting in sizing. So when you click on an element and you go into sizing, you have min width and max width settings. We now have parent default that you can actually set up. The minimum width will be default setting that you decide over here, or the maximum width is going to also be the default that you set up previously. In case you want to manage, it cannot go further than X pixels or percentage, then you can set this up a little bit easier, and the changes are going to stick much more clearly than previously. Pop-up issues when assigned to a page and then that page is deleted. Yeah, that was a tricky issue when some users reported that they had a pop-up, but it was not showing up here on the canvas. And in certain cases that was happening because they had the pop-up appear on a specific page and they saved it, and then they delete this page. So it also deleted the pop-up from the screen. Now this is managed and it's fixed, so it's not going to happen. But yeah, you should double check when you assign a page over here and it shows a page but you don't have that page, then that could potentially, shouldn't anymore, but that could potentially be something that you need to double check. Saving of pages doesn't work. We had some issues with saving of the pages. It was giving up a server error. That's fixed. And also pages tab is not spaced properly. Not all pages are visible on the screen. Earlier, when you clicked over here to the pages or any funnel pages over here, let me just go back over here, for example, or webinar pages, there was a tricky static situation over here where the pages were just not visible all the way down to the page. You cannot scroll up or down and things like that. So that is now fixed. It is all responsive, and if you have more pages than it shows, you're going to have a scroll bar to scroll up and down. So we are having a couple of other things in the test servers that we are working on right now, and I'm going to do another video once those come out. And for now, these were the additions, improvements and fixes, but we have quite a few, many more that we are going to be releasing in the next weeks. So that's it. If you have any questions, please let us know.